Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm dressed like this with shirt, tie, and I have got my lovely woolen jumper and we are off to Pony Club. So I haven't been for a little while and I nearly forgot to pay my membership, so I quickly got online last night and did that. So we're all set to go. So I've got the car and the float. I hooked up last night and I've just got to pack the car. I've put the horses breakfast out in their yards, but for some reason they're just it's almost like they know something's going to happen and I'm trying to find them and they yeah, they don't want to eat their breakfast, so they're just hanging out together because they know that they're going to be separated. They're so funny. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to pack the car and I had a little practice with Bella getting her on the float yesterday and she walked up no worries at all. So I'm hoping that won't have any issues this morning trying to get her on. It's always a little bit more relaxed when it's not a competition day. The sun is shining, it's shining in my eyes, so I'm a bit squinty. Which is lovely. It's going to be a beautiful day. There's not a breath of wind. So yeah, it should be a really good day. So today is just, we go to Pony Club and have some instruction. Mum's going to come along, so she might be able to film. I haven't actually filmed at the Pony Club before, so I'll have to ask if anyone minds. Yeah, or I might just, get some footage of us riding off on our own, so no one else is in it, because Pony Club is predominantly kids, so it's generally sort of under 18s, but they did, I don't know how long ago, but they opened it up for seniors as well. I like to go because I like to go get some instruction, and it's another outing for Bella in the float and for me, and it's been really good for me to regain my, help regain my confidence. It's only a small pony club. We don't have a lot of members, so I like to support them as well. It nearly folded a few years ago, and yeah, so some people took it on, and they've managed to build up the membership. So it's mostly kids. I think I'm one of the only senior riders. There is another one of the mums that rides, but she's had a bit of an issue with her horse, so she hasn't been there for a while. But yeah, it's a good outing and gets us out and about. And for me at the moment, as I've mentioned with the wet weather, it's a good opportunity for me to be able to ride her out in a bigger area, do some straight lines and practice my test ready for our dressage competition. So yeah, so I will start packing the car. I'll get a little clip of these two just that they're not going to want to get their breakfast. There they are. Oh, Bella might, oh no, she's going to go up to the furthest part of the paddock. She'll go right up to that top corner. She's so clever. She's always good when I take her out. Ultimately, all horses, they just want to eat, sleep and hang out with their mates, don't they? We ask them to do all these things, which they do obligingly, but, oh yeah, Colmy's going to go in and have his breakfast now. There we go. Okay, so we arrived and made it to Pony Club. She actually went on the float really well. Colm called out a little bit and she had to nick her back to him, but then she just walked on up. Then when we got here, she unloaded like textbook, which was fabulous because last time she rushed out and she's been doing that a bit lately, but we pulled up and she was really relaxed and she waited for me to ask her to walk back, so that was brilliant. So she's just having a little munch on some grass, because it's beautiful lush green grass here. So we'll just let her have a little munch. Whoops. Oh, my little tripod. I got a new phone. I got a new phone I upgraded, so we've got better camera and better sound and well, better everything really, because I have to edit on my phone, but it's a bit heavier, so my gimbal just did a little yeah, relax there, so sorry about that. That might happen from time to time. And like I said, I got Mum arriving soon, so she's going to do some videoing for me, so that'll be good. So I'll let her have a munch and get her saddled up. It was great to have a lesson with Shannon on the day. We worked a lot in getting her a bit more forward in the walk and also practicing some halts. Then we moved on into some trot. So we did a bit of trotting around the outside, which was good to be using a bigger space. And then we moved into doing a shorter trot across the short side. So bringing her back, so changing the tempo within the trot, and then pushing her out down the long side to get a longer stride, which she did quite well. And then towards the end, we then were practicing some trot to halt. She's a bit resistant going into halt. That's something I'm working on at the minute, just to get her a bit softer and get her listening to me, because she tends to want to just keep going. But yeah, it was great doing the trot work, and there she is lengthening a little bit down the long side, which was nice. And yeah, and then she comes back to me quite nicely on the short side, and she didn't resist too much, which was good. Getting her forward, it's nice to have someone and have eyes on the ground, someone there to pick you up. Shannon did point out that I nag too much with my legs, which I know I do. I get caught in that trap because she can be a bit lazy, so I'm always banging on her sides, but eventually if I keep doing that, she's going to get numb to that. So I'm thinking I might try using spurs and try and resist the nagging. So ask once and then softly, and then if I don't get the reaction, then she gets asked a bit firmer, rather than just continually nagging. Anyway, so we had quite a good lesson, and Mum did a really good job doing some filming. Her arm was probably getting sore because I didn't set the tripod up for her today, so she had to hold the phone. But yeah, she worked quite nicely. So here we moved on to another area, and they had some poles set up that the kids had been working over. So that was quite funny, that moment. Bella was busy looking at the shed as we come around the corner, and then all of a sudden there was a pole in front of her and she just went, "Ooh, what was that?" So she dropped back into walk and walked over them. But anyway, then we got going, and she came around. She was working really nicely now because we'd already done I think we probably did about half an hour lesson earlier, before, and then moved on to the pole work. So, and the pole work's really good for her. There she is looking at the shed again. It's all a bit spooky around that corner. There we go, and up over the poles. But yeah, she does hollow out a little bit over the poles. It's really interesting actually watching it back on video. You get to a whole different perspective. It's quite good. That's one good thing I'm liking about the vlogging, is that I'm taking so much video now and really assessing how she's moving. So I think it will really help us in the future. But yeah, we did quite a good pole session. So we're coming across these ones here, and then we come up around. So she's still hollowing out a bit there, and then she comes back round for me, which is nice. And then we come around the top here and then come down. I think there was 3 poles, and then we come down through the ones that we were just trotting over. So that's a good exercise to keep her straight. And here she goes, "Ooh, I've got to go down through the middle." And then coming around from the other direction. So they, see it from both sides. So yeah, it was good. So Mum did manage to get some video on her phone. She was a little bit far away, but she captured the end of my little obstacle course here. So whilst we were in having the AGM, the kids all set up this obstacle course to go through, and they love making everything a competition. So of course one of the mums did timed it for us so that we could have a little competition of who did it the quickest. But Bella didn't want to pick up the can at the beginning, so we lost a bit of time there. But anyway, we made it up at the end. So again, we're on Mum's phone, and I took the opportunity whilst we were there on the day to do some canter practice. And as you can see, we need a lot of practice. But it's a work in progress. As the trot's getting more and more balanced, the canter will come a bit better. So here I just ask, and she actually didn't do too bad a transition into canter here. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I ask her to pop up into canter in just a second. And the head the head pops up a little bit, and as you can see, she's flexed to the outside. It's got to work on bringing her around my inside leg. But anyway, we'll get there. Just arrived back at home, and I've just come in through the gate, and all the little lambs have come to investigate the car coming in. It's so inquisitive and cheeky. So we're just driving down back home again, back down to the shed. So we've got these really big logs here. We sometimes, we used to have the hunt club come through and jump the logs. It's so funny because back when I was younger, I would have been all over that, jumping them. But of course now, I'm a bit scaredy cat now. So dressage is for us, not the jumping. There we go, just pulling up at the gate. So I will just hop out and open the gate. Off the float. She travels really well on the float. She did give me a little bit of grief trying to get her on at Pony Club. I don't know why, she just fluffed about, and I just used the kind of tap, tap, tap method until she steps forward, and then as soon as she steps forward, I stop tapping and reward. And then when I, stand up, Belle, and then when I came round to put the divider across to the side, she just walked up behind me like she didn't have an issue at all. So I don't know. I think she might be in season actually at the moment. So anyway, that might be just making excuses for her. So we have, walk up. We have had also a little bit of an issue with her rushing off the float. But when we got to Pony Club today, she didn't rush off the float. She was actually a really good girl. So I'm hoping that she will be a good girl now and wait until I tell her to come back, which I think she might be. Okay, Belle? Back up. Good girl. Back up. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Good girl. What a perfect little superstar. Awesome girl. So we've had a great day, haven't we, Belly? She's like, I've had enough. Come and talk to the vlog. I've had enough and I want to go back in my paddock. Whoa. Anyway, we've had a really good day. It was fun at Pony Club. We actually did some games after lunch, after they did the AGM. I don't know, Mum didn't have my phone, so I don't know if she captured any on her phone. I'll have to ask her later. And I did a little bit more flat work with Belle just while we had the space to do that. So it was heaps of fun. I really enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed. Bye for now. See you next time.